Hello guys, so today's model, her name is Goodness, and you can see she's a brown skin model. So I'm going to be carving out her brows. You can see me using my spoolie brush, and I'm just like removing excess hairs underneath her normal brow. Okay, so I'm going to be doing that for this side of the brow, and I'll be doing for the other side. I'm not actually doing too much because I used her face like a month back, so she doesn't really have hair that much, so we don't want to remove the little that she has, so we're just going to do touch-ups. That's what I'm just basically doing here. I'm using my razor blade to do that, and remember, I always cut my razor blade in two. I like using half to just work on the brows. For today's glam, I'm going to be using my micellar water, which is Avoa. I use Avoa micellar water. I'm going to put that on my wipes, and I'm going to be cleansing her face. So this is the brand I use. There are other good brands you can buy, but for now this is the one I'm using. The one I had before this was from Adventure. It was also nice. So there are different brands in the market, so just find the one that works for you and use. For now, this is the one I use. So I make sure I go in with that wipes. I clean the entire face properly because you don't want to see dirt on the face. Even if the person is just coming from the bathroom, use your micellar water to cleanse their face. Moving on, I'm going to be using my Mario Dabosco spray. It's a hydrating spray. I spray this down on the face before I go in with anything. And after spraying this down, for some reason, I just like using my hand to tap it in. You can use a brush to tap it in, or you can allow it to just dry by itself. Anyone you want to do, it's fine, but me personally, I like using my hands to like tap in. So the spray I use is a hydrating spray, just going to add hydration to our skin. All right, I always do this for every makeup I am doing. Now, after applying my hydrating spray, I'm going to be going in with this serum from Blossom Cosmetics. Okay, I'm going to be using the serum. I'm going to apply some drops on her face, and after applying that, I'm going to use my brush to just blend it all out. So this is the skin prep process, guys. Skin prep is really important. It's a step you should not miss. You should know how to do your skin prep. You need to make sure the skin is well and properly moisturized before you go in with your foundation and every other thing, so that you don't have makeup that breaks. Okay, if your makeup is breaking, it's because you're not doing your skin prep well. So make sure you take your time to do your skin prep. And while doing skin prep, you don't even rush it. You have to take your time. It's something that I take about 5 minutes or so, sometimes more than, it all depends, just to do my skin prep very well. All right, now after I'm done with my serum, I'm going to go in with this moisturizer from Blossom, and I'm going to be applying this on her face. I'm going to use my brush again to apply the moisturizer. And you also want to make sure that underneath the eyes, you're feeding it very well. You want to put a lot of moisturizer under the eye because you want that place to be very hydrated. Okay, take your time, blend these things very well. Okay, and an important tip you must also notice is that each product you're applying, you have to give it time to dry before you go on to the next product. Most times people complain that, oh, my makeup is doing like this, my makeup is doing like that. Sometimes you don't allow your products to dry. Allow one particular product to dry, then you can go in with the next product. All right, then I'm going to enter my priming. For the first primer, I use the hydrating primer. Now this primer holds the face, but it's a hydrating primer. This is the first primer I always use. Now I'm going to use that same brush, and I'm going to be blending this all over her face. Like this particular primer, I put it everywhere on the face except underneath the eyes. I don't put primer under the eyes, all right, because I want to make sure the eyes is hydrated, and the work of a primer is to hold the face, right? So we don't want primer under the eyes. Now the next primer I'm going to be using is this Rimmel Stay Matte primer. This primer is a little bit stronger than the first primer I used. I'm going to be applying this on the T-zone areas of her nose. Now, what is the T-zone areas of the face? Rather, T-zone areas of the face are those places where oil is most likely to come out, which is the nose region, the mustache region, under the chin, the eyebrows, the forehead. Whenever oil always comes out, whenever you see somebody on makeup and the makeup wants to start producing oil or wants to start breaking, you notice that these places I'm applying my primer, those are the places that your makeup will start breaking from. So this is where I'm focusing this particular primer on. All right, now after blending this particular primer, I'm going to be going in with one of my favorite primers, which is classic. This classic primer is so mattifying, and I like using my hands for this particular one because now I'm going to be reaching like on places where my brush will not reach. I will use my hand to properly blend this, and it's going to hold the face very, very well. You can see all the oil that she had on her face is just gradually sucking it, or you can see how dry these areas I'm applying this thing actually looks. Are you seeing how dry it is? So this primer is a must have. This one and Gentle Dove, I'm going to show you the picture of Gentle Dove. Those two primers are what I always use to hold the face very well. Next, I'm going to also apply it on the forehead, the brow region. I apply on the brow region because some people used to sweat on their brows, some people produce oil on their brows. Remember, we're trying to control oil on the face, right? So anywhere you feel like your clients produces oil a lot, or you even ask your clients, so that you can focus on those areas. Next, I'm going to be going in with this Power Seal. This is Miss Metic's Power Seal. This Power Seal is very, 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 very good. I highly recommend this serum, this Power Seal. I use that same brush and apply it on the brush, and I just like dab it all over the face. Okay, I just dab this all over the face, but please make sure the thing dries very well before you move on to your next product. So that's all I do for my skin prep. Now after I'm done with that, I go in with my Kiss Beauty setting spray. Now I'm going to be using the setting spray to just spray on her face for extra hydration. So this one I'm going to allow it to dry by itself. Okay, now after it's dry, or while it's still drying, I'm showing you the foundation I am using. For today's model, I'm using Lady V's Beauty Foundation and Adventure Foundation. Now I have my reason of mixing those two shades. Now the Lady V Beauty Foundation is a little bit red, almost like is her color anyways, but it's just too red, while the Adventure has a much more cooler undertone. So I'm mixing the two foundations together to give me a perfect shade for her, because we don't want her face to be too red, we also don't want it to be too white. That's why I mixed both of them together. But when I blended it, I still felt like it was just a little bit too white. So what I did was I went back with the Lady V foundation, just a little of it. After blending this, after I added the Lady V foundation, I just added a little of it on the face to just tone everything and make everything perfect. So this was it. I'm using the Lady V now. You can see that a little bit of that red foundation there. I'm just using that to just tone everything down. There should always be a balance. And me, I'm somebody that talks so much about foundation matching your client's skin, like the neck and the face has to blend. I'm a very big fan of it. I don't like makeup that when you look at it you see the foundation is different from the no. I don't like all of that. So I make sure I match my foundation very well. Okay, so this is just me blending. I'm using a beauty blender, a very soft beauty blender. Emphasis on soft. If you have a beauty blender that is too strong, throw it away. Stop buying for 500 naira beauty blender. Invest in good beauty blenders. I think good beauty blenders start from like 3k and above. Once you get a good beauty blender, every other thing will be easy. Your blending process is going to be very, very easy. Once you get a good beauty blender, you put it in water and then you just dry it, but you want to make sure the beauty blender is damp. That's the beauty of it. Once it's damp, it's just going to absorb products very well. Okay, meanwhile, if you're using those hard ones, you'll be blending, you'll not be seeing what you're blending. Either the hard ones will be sucking out the product you put on the face. They don't do the job. So get a good beauty blender. So this particular beauty blender I'm using, I think it's from Cindy's Beauty, but there are other good beauty blenders in the market. I'm going to recommend some for you guys when I'm talking about product video. Now after blending that first one out, I went in with that Lady V. Remember the way I did for the other side, right? So I'm going in with that now. I'm just blending for that perfect match. That's what I'm basically just doing there. So just enjoy the blending process. You don't have to rush your makeup. You want to make sure you're blending everything perfectly. You want to feed the skin very well. All right. And I know you might be thinking, oh, even if the foundation is too light or too dark, I can correct it with powder. It's better you avoid such mistakes before you go on with your powder, just to have that seamless, perfect makeup. Avoid mistakes as best as you can. So make sure you're matching foundation very well.